Ah, there we go. Microphone muted? Was it muted the whole time? Can you guys hear me now? Sheesh. Okay. Yeah, that's how you start off a Monday. No, I looked down. It was the little button was pressed. I guess when I was adjusting it, the flashing button was on. So okay. Well, there we go. Tuesdays. How you start off a Tuesday? Well, let's rewind a little bit. I started off by saying Happy Tuesday. I started off by asking if anyone was new. And if so, please say so. That way I can give an introduction. We briefly looked at the economic calendar and said there's not really much on there. And then I wanted to get started on the dollar yen. And I was asking, do you guys remember the discussion that we had on the dollar yen this weekend about spotting a potential reversal? There we go. Now we should be good. Is do people still have no sound? Should be hearing now yet. The first 2 minutes or so, my mute button was on. But you should be seeing sound now. Okay. So we talked about a potential reversal on the dollar yen. If you guys remember, it was really a double trade from last week. It was a trade where I was looking for a short continuation. I ended up getting one target out of it. The market retraced back up and ended up getting advanced pattern formation on it. So it was actually a 2 for 2 week on the pair, but it never gave us the follow through that we were looking for, that I was expecting. And when we go down to the 240 here, right, what we saw was kind of the changing of the guard in trend, right? Price action was was bearish, right? We're continuing down, we're tracing up, we came down here, little deal like that, put in a new structure low, right? Again, we're thinking trend continuation here, and we're likely to see a continuation down. And we didn't get that. What we got was a higher low, and then we got a higher high, and then another higher low. And we were talking about if we get a higher high above this level, there's a chance that we could see a reversal. This is very similar. Essentially, you can look at this as a head and shoulders pattern, and it's all kind of the same thing. Whether you want to technically call it one or not, that's all going to be up to your perception on whether you're seeing this as a shoulder or just consolidation. The same principles apply. The market has based off the I don't want to say the trend, but the consistency of seeing lower lows and lower highs has ended, and we've started looking the other direction. And lo and behold, we did get our break and close above. We did get our retracement, right? Back in the structure, previous structure resistance, now acting as support. And now we're looking to break and close above again. So a key line in the sand, right? And I'm seeing this on the range bar chart already for a day trading opportunity, is going to be right here, right? We're looking for a break of that level. And then we're asking ourselves, right? We're identifying the rotation and trend. We're identifying the break of previous structure. We're predicting, what do you think we're predicting next? And if you guys are new, I see a few new faces, but you didn't really introduce yourself. Welcome to the live room. This is an opportunity to see how I trade live, how I analyze the markets, how I look for trading opportunities. Understand that it could be a little fast, could be a little overwhelming in the first few sessions. Typically, it takes about a week or two to get used to the speed. Once you do, you'll see that I am basically robotic. I come in each and every day. I do my analysis the same way. I look at the same thing. I go through the same process, and you'll start to develop those habits as well. But I would say this. Hey, Divdeep. I would say this. If you are new to the platform, just worry about the process, right? Only focus on the concepts that you've been through already, right? So if you're only going through the foundation course and you haven't gotten to the mastery, don't worry about advanced pattern formations. Don't worry about head and shoulders, all that stuff. Just worry about reading a candlestick. Just worry about identifying trend. Just worry about violation and confirmation of structure levels, the stuff that you know. The live room is here to be a supportive element to what you're already doing. There's no need to rush through. So, yeah, the prediction, or the next thing we want to do is we want to predict where is price action likely to go next, because that prediction is what's going to allow us to see, do we have opportunity, right? You see this on many pairs that I look at, right, guys? Many pairs that I look at, you'll see where I go through the pair and I'm like, ooh, yeah, break a structure. Ooh, we can go there. And then I measure it out and I'm like, that's only 5 pips away. And I'm like, good opportunity, guys, just not enough opportunity to profit. So we want to make sure we do that full process of seeing, okay, well, I know that I know that by what I identify, it tells me that this is a trading situation I can get involved in, right? If you're a trend continuation trader or a breakout trader, you know that from your plan. Your plan says, oh, this is the type of setup I look for. If you're a counter trend trader, you're like, nothing here, right? Now you're saying, okay, now that I know I can get involved in this type of trade, is there actually opportunity? Is there enough profitability to get involved? And then, of course, the other question we need to ask, right, is what? What else do we need to know? Not only is there enough room to profit, but more importantly, is there a place to put a stop loss, right? And that all comes with time. But the point is, we're going through this. This is, again, the process that we're going through. We're not just going through saying trade. We're going through the process, and that's going to be very, very, very important to your consistency as a trader. And make sure you're going through the right steps. By the way, I have a poll I need to send you guys to. I don't know if I'm going to put it in a recording or maybe I'll try and drop the link in here. But a good buddy of mine, Adam Grimes, asked if I forwarded a poll he's doing on support and resistance. So I gotta give you that link. He respects you guys very well, very much. So he would like the opinion of basically serious traders on how they're seeing support and resistance. So it's pretty cool. So I'll either shoot it to you in here. I'm a little weird about putting links in here, although I haven't seen any. I've only seen a few explosions. I may just put it underneath the recording of this later. But please remind me about that if I forget, because my memory is horrible. So, last says, yeah, no. Believe it, guys, you don't realize this? You guys are massively respected out there. I mean, when I say stuff in videos, when I say, I'm not all about, I'm a shameless promoter, but I'm not shameless as far as like saying anything to get people to say stuff. Like, I truly believe you are the best community, the best trading community out there. I haven't, until someone shows me another one. You guys are very knowledgeable. You guys do things the right way. It's been amazing. We've been doing tier 1 trading for 1.5 years now, and I can count maybe one troll. One troll, guys. And I didn't even see him. I just heard about some guy shooting links on the chat or something like that. Gabby's in her own category, but yeah, you guys are doing things that are well beyond what your average traders are doing. And I know when Jason had interviews with Adam Grimes and Mike Bellafiore, they said the same thing. With Brett Steenberger, they said the same thing. It's you guys are universally respected. It's a badge of honor. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to be a part of that. I'm happy I get to associate with you guys. Daryl says he didn't last long. Yeah, I did. I just heard the stories. Like, yeah, some guy was shooting links into the chat. He's gone now. I'm like, okay. All right. Surprised you don't see more of that. But again, trolls, and think about it this way, and we'll get back to this topic real quick. People that try to scam people, what type of traders do they go after? Do they go after intelligent, smart traders and serious traders? Is that their target demographic? No, they go off of people, newbies that want to get rich quick and looking for shortcuts, right? You come into the chat and everyone's like, yeah, man, I'm ready to embark on 3 months of back testing, ready for this hard work. He's like, nah, no. They want the guy that's like, back testing? Can I just trade it right away? They want those type of people. Oh, did you mention trade it right away? Well, buy this system. So, predict. So where do you guys think price can go to? Few ways to measure it or to predict it using all the tools that we have. You guys know my way. I like structure. George says 11:20-ish. Let's draw some lines. Shoot me some numbers. shoot me the digits, right? Last says just below 111s. Looking at the area right before this gap, I'm assuming. Or right after the gap, the attempted close of the gap, which conveniently ran into the structure looking left. Funny how that happens. Trevor says 111. George says, yeah, you know what? I didn't, I like that a little bit better right there. Yeah. What else can we do? That's the level I was looking for, just purely structure based. I think that's a fine level. What else? If we wanted to add more confluence, what can we do? We can draw fibs, right? We can take a Fibonacci retracement. Looks and smells like a 50% fib. Anybody want to challenge me on that? If you smell. It's a bit higher. Did you cheat? You already have it on there, Latch? Okay. Yeah, it might be a bit higher. Let's go. Yeah. Not even close. Not even close to 50% fib. It's Tuesday. I've been calling it Monday. I'm off. You do have a 618 right around that level George is looking at. But so not really any fib confluence, but you do have a nice even handled number right here. You do have, it's the previous outside return. It's right in the middle of that gap. Previous structure looking left. Pretty darn decent zone in my opinion to look for targets at. So now that we know we have potential room from here to here, now you can start asking yourself, hey, is there enough room to profit here? Is the move from 110.34 to 110 to 111 flat? Is 65 pips enough room for me to take advantage of? If yes, then you dial down for the next part of your trade. If no, then you leave it alone. So let's head down to a 60-minute chart again. I'm watching this on a range bar chart with my side eye. So we'll go down there in a little bit, but we want to go through the process of swing trading before day trading first. So let's head down to the 60-minute on the dollar yen here. Should give us a little bit of a clearer view. Ooh, there we go. Let's get back here. Should give us a little bit of a clearer view. There's our one target Gartley. Again, we were doing an exercise yesterday of money management in the Q&A session for you guys that saw it. Lovely exercise where we talked about finding your optimal position size, and I showed you how to make a 10% return or 300% return, right? Pretty cool stuff like there. One of the things that's been hurting me this year, man, target twos. Target twos have not been they're lacking. Target twos have been, or lack thereof, have been killing me, man. Very similar to again the 2014 year when the first time I witnessed the low volatility market. It wasn't that initial targets were struggling, it was target twos. And again, I'm still about 67% in my trading, which is unheard of for me. My ceiling is typically 60. So you would think if I'm 67% up, there should be a lot more profit there. But it's 67% mainly on those first targets. Target twos are slacking. So here's a look at the 60. If you're a butterfly trader, you can look for a potential butterfly pattern as well. If you want to shoot for, if you want to measure out a different target level, here's what you can do too. You can take, not that, but you can take perhaps a one-to-one measured move like this, our previous impulse leg here, copy and paste that, and make a projection to the high side. I'll give you a slightly smaller target if you're just looking for different reasons. 110.64s. That might be around that 50% level. You can actually take an even smaller one too, depending on how micro you want to look, right? Take this swing, this anchor leg, measure it and do the same thing. You can have a zone, and of course you can do accompanying fib. So if you're looking for different levels of targets, if you're not just a kind of a structure-based person, you really want to look for fib confluence and everything, I would take these smaller legs as well on the hourly and just see what you get in that area. You can see you get a 127 and a 1618 lining up in that same area, 110.50s. It's right between the smaller AB equals CD and the bigger one. I don't remember where that 50% retracement was at. You guys? %50 retracement would be a little bit higher, so you still don't get that confluence. But that's another option if you want to dig deep in there. But you can certainly look for this on the 60. Again, you want to look for that break and close on the 60. That's the first thing you need, is that violation. Now we have 10 minutes before that violation. I'd love to see a very good sign would be what type of candle? And obviously, if you're waiting for this on the 4 hour, you want to look for the 4 hour chart as well. Yeah, strong bullish candle would be a very good sign. So a weak bullish candle that closes above wouldn't be as great of a candle as a strong one that closes above. I want to see a strong, deliberate, purposeful break, not a kind of break, right? And then, of course, you look for your normal type of pullback trade when you get into that situation. All right, so let's get down to the 15. Oh, sorry, we can start looking at stops and targets. So let's say we do get that break and close. Again, we're early here, but we want to start kind of visualizing this and running through this in our head. Let's say we get that break and close. Let's say we get that retest. We know we talked about target levels, a few ways you can take them, right? Depending on what type of trader you are, you can look for a move back up to this level. You can look for, or I guess you can look for a move back to the retest of the previous highs. You can look for a move to this level. Ultimately, you can look for a move to, again, 111s up here. And that's going to be different depending on your trading style. Stops. What are your ideas for stop placements, guys? Obviously, it depends. I know it depends on your trading style, but there's no one answer. But yeah, I think your safest bet will be below this area, below 110s, right below these structure lows. Obviously, if you can't make that work, you want to be below whatever swing you enter on here as well. But this is going to be your safest level below this outside return, and you have that 110 even handle as well below that level too. So good stuff. All right, down to the 15-minute day trading, a little bit different story, right? We already have our higher high, higher close. Not a great candle. It's a bigger bullish candle. Not a very strong close. You can see a wick to the high side. We then get a doji candle. Doji tells us what? Doji tells us a little bit of indecision. Yeah, a little bit of indecision. Currently, current candle is still moving right now, so we're not sure what this is going to be. But not your greatest setup in the world, but we're looking for a pullback anyway, so it's not a bad sign. Lastly, we'll go down to the 5-minute chart before heading over to my favorite type of chart, which is going to be the range bar chart. You can see the 5-minute, not too much of a different story. A little closer view of the ebbs and flows. And then lastly, we can head over to a range bar chart, which gives me a nice, smooth look at the markets, right? So it eliminates kind of all those funky little wicks. And I see the market for what it is. I see this, I see that, 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 right? This is the main part I'm looking at right here, right? Because we already know our analysis from the higher time frame. This is the higher high, higher close. We're looking for the break of this level. As a pullback trader, small sneaky zone in here, but mainly we're looking for this zone right here for our entries. And again, if you want some Fibonacci confluence, right, you can draw it out there. You can see a 382, 50% in that level. If you take it from the smaller swing low to swing high here, you're going to get a 1618 lining up with that 382 as well. So pullback traders, be on alert. Dollar yen, really anywhere from the 4-hour down to the 5 range bar chart. Of course, in the range bars, if you want an equivalent of an hourly chart, let's see what our hourly ATR is. 9. Okay, so this is so let's do an 8 range. I like my fib numbers. This would be equivalent of an hourly chart if we went to an 8 range. And again, the misconception is range bars are just lower time frames. They're not just lower time frames. They can be any time frame. You just have to adjust them. The range doesn't necessarily mean lower time frame. It's just a different look, just like Renko or tick charts, right? So looking at this 80 range, this would be equivalent for you guys that are more intraday traders looking, say like on an hourly time frame. And of course, my RSI is still a little bit faster on here. So yeah, okay, good stuff. Any questions on dollar yen? that provided some good analysis. I didn't expect us to. I guess I should have. I do my top down about an hour and a half before the live room starts, so I guess we should expect movement. But any questions on dollar yen? Good looking trading opportunity. I'm certainly be watching it throughout the day, both from a day trading and a swing trading perspective. All right, let me write this down because I'm gonna forget. Remember, I try to write down what order we go down, and I don't have my tablet up. So, dollar yen. All right, next, let's head to. You guys want to do another trend continuation first? Or you want to go somewhere else? I've got some minors that have trend continuation, New Zealand CAD and pound Canada. Okay, last said New Zealand Canada, so that works perfectly. That was on my radar for a trend continuation trade as well. So let's go down to New Zealand Canada and check it out. NZD CAD. Do you actively trade this one, Latch? Is it a decent movement pair? I wonder what my spread is on here. Again, I have the option to add a few more pairs. This is one I looked at in the past, and I don't have a lot. I only have one Canada cross, which I can't find. What is this? I'll just do this. This will tell me my spread. By 87.21. You know what? Nah, I don't trust that. I was trying to see if my spread was. I don't really trust demo accounts. Sometimes they don't take spreads into account. Instead of just being, I should have just checked my control panel. I was trying to be lazy. I'll do it later. But all right, let's break down. George says Aussie dollar 60-minute cipher still valid. Okay, I must have missed that one. I did not see that. Let's really quick. Let's go to Aussie dollar real quick. I did not see that this morning. Let's check it out. All right, let me see if I can measure it out for you. Let me know if this is right, George. X to A to B, B to C, and C to D is what George is looking at. Oh, that shouldn't be down there. Sorry. Let's try it again. X to A to B, B to C, C to D right there. All right, there you go, guys. Look at these candles. Long wick, long wick, long wick. Higher, higher, higher close, and then right back at it. All right, let's go down to New Zealand, Canada. New Zealand, Canada. Identify. What do you see happening on your chart? While you guys are typing, I'll go check this spread. Looks like a runaway train, yeah. Potential lower low, lower close here on the daily. Obviously, on the daily chart, we do not know anything yet until it happens. But currently, it's looking like it's going to be a lower low, lower close. So same process as we did before, right? Lower low, lower close, right? Identifying the lower low, lower close allows us, or potential lower low, lower close, allows us to make the prediction that price is likely to go which way versus what way. Which way? What way? This way? That way? Lower, lower. If we're going to go lower, where are we likely to go lower to, right? Take a yellow line out, and I start identifying key levels of previous structure, right? So I see one, I see a nice 87 even handle right here. Little inside structure. If you guys remember this from last year, right? We had all these New Zealand pairs doing them at the same time. Nice little head and shoulders level right there, right? So I think 87 flat is a decent level to look for. Another level I'd look for is right around here, around, let's just call it 86 flat. So 87 and 86s. Two levels that I would predict. And of course, we can keep going lower than that. After 86s is going to be right here, 85 flat, and then ultimately about 83 50s, right? So lots of levels you can make predictions from. And again, lots of it's going to depend on how cautious or aggressive you are. We can take fibs out again and see if there's any Fibonacci confluence. You can see a 618 Fibonacci retracement right around that 87 flat level, 786 right around that 85 flat level. So very cautious level. 87 flat is going to be your first one to look for. You can actually probably take, if you want more, give me some more. Fibonacci inversion. Nothing there. All right, so let's go down to the 240. Right, we can go to 87 flat. We're almost there, but there's still room. And again, we see the ebb and flow of what's been happening. Aside from this big election wick over here, we've been slowly and steadily trending downward, right? And we've got a nice ebb and flow to us, right? We've got extensions, we've got pullbacks, we've got extensions. We should expect pullbacks, right? If price action pulls back into our kill zone right in here, right? That's going to offer us our trading opportunity. So it doesn't look like too much right now. You're saying Akil, 87 flat, not a, we're at there already. Well, if we were to pull back a little bit, now you're back up easily at 87.60s, 87.80s, which offers a lot more opportunity to the downside. Let's head down to the hourly chart here on New Zealand, Canada. And you can see price action starting. We were massively oversold ever since this candle, right? Once again, breaking the myth that once we go oversold, we have to go back. Pound Canada, by the way, watch Pound Canada as well, guys. Although pound is moving right now. We'll go to that next. Pound is moving. Give me a second, guys. Here's what I'm watching on the chart real quick. It's printed about 5 different candles in the last 2 seconds. Lots of movement on Pound Canada. Brexit, 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 Brexit. Who made some Brexit mumblings? Who was it? Watch this. I bet that's a 1618 inversion from this small move. Right on there. Can't see it because I have this stupid color on, but look at that. All right. Anyway, sorry. New Zealand, Canada. These markets. New Zealand, Canada here on the 60-minute chart. Again, overbought for a while. Oversold for a while. So we could be in store for a retracement, and we could just see a continuation down as well. Let's head down to the 15-minute chart. And again, just provide you with some view. Kill zone, right? This level to this level. So you're waiting for that retracement, right? And you're asking yourself, if price action reaches 87.60s, then what do I need to get involved in the trade? What do I need to happen? Am I a CTS trader that needs a CTS score? Do I need an AB equals CD pattern and a double bottom or double top and divergence? Or am I more of an aggressive trader? Do I need just the RSI to be overbought and then look for a lower low, lower close? Or do I need a doji candle, a pin bar, whatever it may be? That's the question that you're asking yourself. And once price action, if price action gets to that level, then this is what I need to happen in order to execute the trade. And then, of course, already you're measuring out stops and targets, right? Where do I want to put stops? Where do I want to do targets? And you can even shrink up that level some. So if you're someone that knows that targets are going to go at a retest of here, if you know that stops need to be above this level, right? You don't have any way to put them within this zone, right? You can just take your fib out, right? Measure it from your projected stop loss to your lower level, and you know that 50% is where that 1-to-1 measured move is going to be at, per your risk and reward, or per your stops and targets, I should say. So you can start planning out a lot of your trade beforehand. Doesn't mean it's going to follow through, but you can start planning out your trade beforehand. Real quick, if anyone's looking for a selling opportunity here on Pound Canada, we'll visit this next. Wait for a pullback here. This is a very, happened so quick. This is a nice move. You can look at this as a false breakout. You won't really see it on the range bar chart, but a false breakout. We came back to trade below this low point. Wait for a pullback and opportunity to sell. It's a little funky looking, but we'll look for that. Yeah, could be head and shoulders as well. Yeah, with a drooping neckline, so not my preferred one, but yeah, would end up looking like a head and shoulders as well. Yeah. That said, very nice bear triangle on Pound Canada, 15-minute before the break. All right, let's get on to the 15-minute chart, Pound Canada. And again, the lower the time frame trader you go, the quicker you'll see those opportunities, right? So our big white area, this big white box right here, is going to be your kill zone. But we go down to the 15-minute, right? Do you guys see another kill zone that you could perhaps take advantage of? Yeah. Right? You see a little consolidation right here, right? A little structure shelf. So as a day trader, right, this zone, I mean, you can still look for opportunities here, but you can also say, well, okay, if price action comes into this zone, this is where I'm looking for my sells. Now you can take it to another level as well. And this is where the whole trend within trend, out of trend, counter trend within a trend continuation within a counter trend, reversal trend continuation, backwards funky monkey trader comes in handy, right? I'm gonna say this slowly. If you're predicting that price action is likely to come to this level, right? If you are a trend continuation trader looking to get short, and you're projecting that price is going to retrace here before it goes there, then here's something you can look for. If price were to come here and then hold, maybe repeat what it did to the left, and then go here, and then go here, you can look to buy in anticipation of a move here, where you would then expect price action to go there. Make sense? Makes sense? So again, and it's not about, no, everyone's confused. It's not about trend trading or counter trend trading, because you can trend trade within a counter trend situation. It's all about predictions, right? If your analysis predicts price to go here and price is right here, right? You can take a pullback trade, which in a sense would be a trend continuation trade, in anticipation of price action coming to the level of that you would, the higher time frame level that you expect an outside return to come through, right? So you're using a trend continuation type of method to catch the outside return of a bigger move. And this is where the whole trend talk gets crazy, because you look at this and people get confused. Well, Keel, isn't that a counter trend move because the higher time frame says bearish and we're looking for the pullback to get bearish? Well, yeah, but it's counter trend. It's counter trend in the bigger picture, but it's a trend continuation method within the smaller picture. Make sense? Charlie says strong close on 60. Right? It's no different. And again, this is going to be the whole point of the foundation course. Not the whole point, but I hope to clear this up. So I'm kind of practicing just how I want to phrase it to see which way works and which way doesn't, because my mind is different from everyone else's. A little weird, but if I were to take a move like this, right? Would this be a trend continuation move? If I were to buy right here, what would you guys say? You guys follow rules. Let's add one more, make it easier. Would this be a trend continuation move? Buying at the blue circle. I need rules-based guys. I knew you were gonna do it. I knew you were gonna be like, Keel, not technically a trend because we don't have a 3-point move. Like, come on. Do I really have to draw the third one on there? I'm proud of you guys. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. Right. So this is a trend continuation move. We would all agree. We would all agree, right? Yes or no? Trend continuation move to buy right here. Fully established bullish trend since I drew out the other move. Pullback, buy, right? And what if I did this? Is it still a trend continuation move or is it now a counter trend move? Why is it now a counter trend move? You're still trading the trend. The main trend is bearish. Well, what if I just kept adding other ones like this? Now what is it? Well, now it's a trend continuation move again, right? Right? The point is it doesn't matter. Trends within trends within trends and within trends. So I don't think we need to label this stuff. That's the whole point of the process, right? I don't think we need to label it. Because if we were to go out to, right, we're looking at this on the 15, I say it's trend continuation. Then we look out to the hourly and you're like, oh no, counter trend because it's within the bigger move. But then we go out to the daily and guess what? It's outside of a bigger move as well, right? There's always going to be a bigger move. So there is no true trend continuation or counter trend. It's all relative to the time frame in which you're trading, right? So you can look at this and say, hey, I'm a trend continuation trader. I just understand that this particular trend continuation move is potentially just an outside return of a bigger move. And you would place targets and your predictions accordingly. You wouldn't shoot for, right? If you know it's part of this bigger move, you probably wouldn't shoot for the moon. Does that make sense, guys? So I don't think we need to kind of get rid of these labels that it has to be a trend continuation move or a counter trend move. Why not? Let's just call it a trend continuation method versus a counter trend method. So I know that's confusing, but that's again, that's what I hope to clear up. And Pound's going back on his way. What happened with because you're always, and this is I bring this up because many of you guys asked this question, where it's like the market moves in fractals, and how do I know what I'm actually doing? Because this trend is within this trend, and this trend is within that trend, and realistically, once you get to the part where you're trading, you're going to have a set time frame. So someone asked me this yesterday, Akil, do you ever go out to the monthly? No. Real quick, May will set up a new proposal for her deal in a speech. This is why the market's moving. I told you Brexit stuff. Theresa May said to make a statement on new Brexit offer to UK lawmakers. This comes against the backdrop of the just concluded cabinet meeting, where it's believed the cabinet members are in agreement with what May has to offer. So she will be outlining the deal shortly. Let's wait and see. But just a heads up in case of potential announcement later. Regardless, I don't see how her new offer will be materially different from those in the past, and with her own cabinet members looking to take over from her. As her Tory leader next, they have no interest in really helping her advance her cause. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yep. When the pound moves, assume Brexit. and I don't know much about these European elections. You guys will know more than me, but that's this week too, and everyone's kind of like just shushing it. Um, Tony says, yeah, you can easily end up with paralysis analysis. Yeah, so I want to. You can also call it a trend continuation or counter move. Um, yeah, it's called a trend continuation. Well, not even, I mean, not even that. I mean, trend continuation or counter move. You still kind of fall into the same. That's kind of the same thing as trend continuation trade or a counter trade. Just call it. I would say just call it a method. I would say just call it a method. I am taking a trend continuation method to involve myself in this outside return. I am taking a counter trend method to involve myself in this trending move. Because if you think about it like this, right? And we just delete this stuff for a minute. You guys know how I enter trades, right? I love my pullback trades, right? How do I enter pullback trades? Right? I'm a counter trend trader at heart. What do I look for, right? I look to sell when the market does this, right? This is a counter trend method. Why? Because I'm selling while the market is going up. That's a counter trend method. It's the same thing as if, price action was coming to previous structure highs right here and I'm looking for a double top. I'm selling into a buying market. Yeah. So, I mean, I've always looked at it that way. I've just because that's been my approach. And again, it's because I'm a counter trend trader at heart. But I mean, I really want to eliminate these words. I just think it confuses people. As soon as you hear the word trend continuation, and you think like it's I don't know, it paints a different picture. And then once you get it, you get it. But we're talking for like newer traders when they come in, we don't really understand the nuances of trading. It's like they hear trend and they're like, well, wait a minute, and so we'll see. We'll see. Last said, I've gone away from the 3-point move a long time ago, aware of this, but I just played breaks. See, I still like the 3-point move. I still like knowing the difference between when we're trending and when we're in consolidation. So I'm still a fan of that. I still use the 3-point move I still analyze the market. I don't think we need to get away from analyzing the market and just play every break. Obviously, you trade whatever system works for you. But I think playing every break can get dangerous, especially in consolidation, because in consolidation you're gonna have stuff like this, where the market, just like the dollar yen, you're gonna have stuff like this, right? Where the market's doing this, right? You're playing every break. There's a chance you can get whipsawed to death. So I still think we want. And again, I'm a more cautious trader, so I still want to be aware of what the market's actually doing. I still want to know: are we in consolidation? Are we in a bullish trend? Are we in a bearish trend? I still want to know that in order to set myself up on the right side of the market. So it's not necessarily the principles. It's just the terminology, which is the issue. The terminology. Principles are the same. I define it, but I don't utilize it completely to the technical outside returns. Yeah, whatever floats your boat, man. Whatever allows you to be the best trader you can possibly be. That's all that matters. As long as you can be consistently profitable doing it, then it's a plus. Then it's a plus. All right, back to New Zealand, Canada. Right, let's go down to the range bar charts. New Zealand, Canada. Back to the charts. New Zealand, Canada. So here's your massively long bearish move. Once again, start looking for outside returns. You got a minor level right here. This is going to be that smaller level we saw in the 5-minute chart. And then, of course, you have your bigger level right up here. Any questions about New Zealand, Canada? And again, yeah, dollar yen did have a strong close on dollar yen. Now let's see if we can get a pullback. Here's a quick look at the close. Where did I just put that? I just blow up my dollar yen chart? I feel like I did. Yeah, I feel like I just closed it. Great job, Akil. Okay. All right, well, there we go. Yeah, here's dollar yen on the 60. Excuse me. We got a nice strong close. All right, let's head over to. I want to do one of these pound pairs next. Let's go to pound yen. Let's go to pound dollar and see what's happening on pound dollar. Pound dollar is interesting because we're at kind of the exhaustion point of a large bearish move. So on my radar this morning, I was looking either reversal or breakout. And you can see we're down here at the 127 even handle. We got that nice little box there. Look left, we got the sneaky little wick down here. I was looking for either a violation of that level, that yellow line down there, obviously would have me predicting that we can continue lower, or a hold of that level. We could see some type of reversal, some type of, double bottom, 2618, head and shoulders, consolidation and break, some type of base off, and then a little bit of relief here. And it looks like we're getting there. However, we do need to be cautious because we know why the market is moving, right? Why is the market moving, guys? Starts with a B and ends with an exit, right? Brexit. So we got to be careful. I don't know when May's speaking, but I would avoid the market when that's happening. But we can do some good technical analysis here and practice the skill of trading, right? So price is coming down. Again, we've bottomed off. We've seen divergence here for a while. The white line is the one you're paying attention to. Don't mind the other squiggly wigglies. That's for personal testing purposes. But we're seeing an engulfing candle right now. An engulfing candle is what type of sign? Is it a weak sign? Is it a strong sign? Is it a stop sign? What is it? Strong, right? Strong like me in the weight room the last couple weeks. I've actually been very weak in the weight room, but I'm in the weight room, so it's a start. It's a start. Doing very moderate stuff. A couple step ups. Did some deadlifts the other day. Some lat pull downs. Dumbbell bench. Getting there. I've been training hard for like a week now, so this is week number 2. Man, I went to stretch yesterday. Legs felt like bowling balls. I'm like, did someone put 2 bowling balls in my hamstrings? And for you guys that are very athletic and like lift a lot, I was happy because like that means it's always after week 1 where it gets you, right? When you do nothing for a while and then you come back and you have that nice week, you feel good the first week. You're like, man, I feel fresh. And then week 2 comes and you're like, oh. But then once you start, you hurt until you start doing stuff. And then you don't feel better until you do stuff. So after I stretched and lifted, I came out the weight room like, man, I feel so much better. So I'm happy about that. And the body's adjusting. But yeah, it was nice. It was nice. Try not to put on too much bulk, though. That's my issue. These bulging biceps inflate pretty quickly. Trying to keep them under control. Tamed. So yeah, an engulfing candle would be a positive sign. There's this high weights, low reps. I know, counter to what you would typically think. Heavy weight, low reps. You can gain a massive amount of strength without the bulk. Yep. So like two sets of 2, or not 2 sets of 2. Let's say like 2 sets of, if I want to, depending on where I'm at, I can start with like 5 times 5, but then I'll go to like a 2 times 3, right? And just have the last set to failure. And you can get the same type of strength out of it, power and strength, but you won't inflate, you won't get the bulkiness. So as a power athlete, that's what I want to do. We'll do the lower weights, high reps with like our distance runners, who they need more kind of like muscle endurance type of stuff, and obviously distance runners don't want to bulk up. But part of me still wants to be a power and speed athlete, so I'll go in and do like a 2x2 or a 2x3, something like that, and then just at some point, if I'm there with someone, go to failure on the last set. Different ways to handle it. That's my preferred way. That's my preferred way. Because I don't get anything out of for what I'd be training for. I don't get much out of the lightweight unless I'm doing like marathon training, which maybe I will, but probably won't. My knees be bad. But there's so many methods, man. I love it. It's weightlifting is interesting because everyone's body reacts differently too. That's the thing. Yeah, you said, yeah. Everyone's body reacts differently, yeah. Plus, look, when you get, my body is so old. I can't handle more than three sets. I can't handle more than 3 sets, man. Once I get after set 2, I'm just like, oh, like I can't physically handle, like the knees start aching and like I can give you a warm up, and I give you 2 good sets after that. I am athletically old, right? So I was involved in sports full time from the age of 4, right? What am I? Am I 34, 33? I don't know, but basically 30 years of sports around the clock. And you add that with being an undersized football player, a basketball player with, dislocated my knees like 16 times total. The body's just old. The body is just, it's the body of a 60-year-old man. But the mind is fresh. The mind is fresh. You give me some good music, I can convince myself to do anything. Well, no, so I wouldn't even say it wasn't even the coaches, George. It was just, but it is a shame what some coaches do to young athletes. I see so much burnout now. I hate it because they're selfish. For me, it was just being involved. My parents just had me involved around the clock and everything: football, baseball, basketball, tennis. So I was just, I was like my kid, shiny thing syndrome. So energy ball just put me in everything. But yeah, I coach track. Obviously, I get kids from high school, and it's some of the stuff I see, we have a completely different method in college and high school. Some of the stuff I see is just like, some of these coaches are just, they will run their athlete into the ground for their personal glory. Like no regard for the athlete, where it's like, look, I'm done with you next year anyway, so I'm just going to tear your body apart and I'll just throw you to the next person. And it just kills these athletes. You see so many athletes that kind of peak at high school and then their just body fails on them. Yeah. And body just fails. They get pushed too hard. And when you're a kid, you're not gonna say I don't want to work that hard. You're not gonna say no. Like, you want to do it all. You need your coach should be there to kind of rein you back. Like, hey, David, we're gonna take a break today. We're gonna take a break today, David. Come on. And you're like, no, coach, no. Come on, we're doing it. We're doing it. Like, they're supposed to save you from yourself. But some coaches are just like, yeah, I don't know. Good coaches won't do that. Anyway, pound dollar here. Engulfing candle. Although a key level that we want to pay attention to is this zone right here. If we can get above this level, I don't have another smaller one. We're gonna have a minor zone at 128, but if we can get above this level, 127.50s, I can see us going to 128. We can even pull back to, just looking left, trying to see levels of structure. We can even pull back to 128.50s. That's not a bad place to see price come to if we're going to see some type of reversal. Look at that. Yeah, this level right here with a 3D2 retracement from the higher time frame. Not a bad level right here, this yellow line to shoot for. So essentially what we'd be looking for is something like this. Looking for, kind of like dollar yen, a break and close above this level. a retest into that level, and then a continuation up, right? For that type of reversal. And again, this would be a good example of what we just talked about, right? This would be, I mean, you can look at this as if you were to buy this pullback, right? This would be a trend continuation trade because you're buying in a market that's moving up, but a counter trend trade because the market's been moving down, but on a higher time frame, a trend continue. See, it gets all weird. So I want to eliminate those kind of ideas. But this is what I would look for here on pound dollar. This type of move. Give me a second to sneeze. Does that concept make sense, guys? I know it's ends up being the same thing every day, and I get boring. But the truth is, trading is boring. It's identifying it, and it's identifying the same type of moves in different situations. That's essentially what trading is. The market only does three things: up, down, sideways. Right? Reversal, breakout, pullback. The key is it has all this. It disguises it for you. But that's what I'll be looking here on the pound dollar. Let's go down to the cable 60. Hey, Gab. 60-minute chart. Again, just a clear view of what's going on. We have a cipher here? Might have a cipher. Looking here on the pound dollar. I don't think. Nope. Yeah, so no cipher there. Okay. Oh, hold on one second. I just blew up one of my charts. Give me a second, guys. Where'd you go? Real quick, Charlie says Euro Yen Gartley 240 X at 123, 39. Let me bring that over real quick. Show you guys what Charlie's looking at. Here you said Euro Yen. Euro Yen. You said 4 hour, right? 4 hour. Yep. So Charles looking at X to A to B, B to C, and a C to D right up there at 123.36. 123.36. Very, very deep Gartley. So you're looking at a very, very small stop loss there. All right. Pound dollar 60-minute chart. So again, looking for. Want to see that break. Before we look for any type of move up. So just keep an eye on this big candle and how it goes and see what happens. Counter trend traders, you can also look for a hold of that level. Here's a good example of a little base off, right? We talked about different ways the market reverses. You see how the market just puts in this accumulation zone? There's two clues that stand out. Obviously, this is hindsight, right? Now, our hindsight trading is a good version of it because we're not doing it to brag and be like, oh, yeah, would have caught that. We're looking at it for educational purposes, correct? So we're looking at this and we're saying, okay, well, obviously we know the move is Brexit related. But this is also a common pattern in the market. So what are two clues that stand out for you here? And this would be one where you may even go down to a lower time frame. You'll probably get a lower close there. It'll be interesting to see. One, you could say double bottom, depending on your eyes. I can certainly see how different eyes would see it differently. Right? I wouldn't necessarily see this as a double bottom, more of a sideways channel, but you can certainly make the case for it. One, divergence I think is a big one. right? Price or RSI, up, 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 up. Price action, sideways, sideways, sideways. So bullish divergence here. That's a key one. And then again, just look at the wicks as we test these lows, right? Not necessarily on this one, but on this final test right here, right? Look at this candlestick. Look at this candlestick. Then look at this higher high, higher close candlestick. And look at the wicks to the downside. Long wicks, rejection. Rejection, strong bullish candle, higher high, higher close. Now again, would I trade it right here? Not at all. Not at all. This was at a decent level. We identified this on the higher time frame, a decent level of structure you look for. Again, if you see it as a double bottom, then yeah, that's an ideal trade right there. But if you're looking for this channel, this would be one where if you're a breakout trader, trade the break. Now, if you're an aggressive breakout trader, you're trading it during this break. If you're a more conservative one, you're waiting for the break and close. Obviously, you don't want to trade it after that. A little too far away. But those would be two ways to handle it. Or, of course, waiting for the pullback, which you never got. So you go through this stuff, like this is stuff you go through at the end of your day, right? You go through your entire trading day again and say, okay, what could I have gotten advantage of? And again, you don't look at it in a sense where it's like, I should have gotten that, I missed it. No, educational purposes. So the next time, right, you're doing your work now for the next time or future times, right? So in the future, a year from now, when you see this in the market, boom, it automatically smacks you in the face and says, oh, I know what to look for. I know what to look for because you've seen it 100 times and you know how it acts, right? And again, another way to look at this would be on a range bar chart. We'll just throw our New Zealand, Canada away. 15-minute chart here, 12 range. Let's go to a 13 range bar chart. That's going to be equivalent to a 15-minute. ATR is a little bit weird here because of the most recent spike. Cromwell Property Group had a challenge this earlier this year. Nice. Let me see if I can take a look at that as well. That's a good example. I was looking at the Dow Jones for potential head and shoulders. I don't think we're going to see a reversal in that, but we could. What am I looking for here? Pound, dollar? Yeah. Real quick. What time frame, Ty, for the Cromwell daily? Take a look at that next. But yeah, you can see kind of a similar situation here. It's not going to be as clear on the 30 range because again you don't, or the 13 range because you don't get those wicks. But you see something else. What could be something else you look for here? And I feel like no, this is not right. Is it pound dollar 130 range? I guess something doesn't look right about this. I guess it is, yeah. Looks too TCT. Yeah, you don't have those wicks. But this is why we use the higher time frame confirmation, right? So you're not sucked into thinking trend continuation here. But something like this could be a reversal. This was a bad example of I think the range is too high. Yeah, I don't know why I went to 13 range. It should have been a lot smaller. Yeah. Yeah, here we go. Sorry, I went to the wrong. 13 range was, I read the ATR wrong. Back to a normal 5 range. Here's your look at it. This is a lot better. So again, what's different on the range bar charts is because you don't have those wicks, guess what you get? Lower low, lower close here. So those can throw off some of your decision making. But where you didn't have that opportunity on the 5-minute chart or 15-minute chart, guess what you do have that opportunity for here? Well, you have your higher high, higher close right here. So if you're able to enter at market, and again, you probably would have been slipped a little bit, you have that opportunity. So sometimes it provides you with a different look. All right, real quick, let's take a look at Cromwell on the 4-hour back in January. No, yeah, January right in here. kind of a similar base off right down. If I get my box right in this area. Yeah, accumulation, right? Wyckoff cycles, guys, right? Accumulation, markup, distribution, markdown. It's the basic way the market moves. All markets. Accumulation, markup, distribution, markdown. Now again, does it always happen in that order? No, it could be accumulation, markup, accumulation, another markup, right? But it all moves in that order, right? Before price reverses, right? We typically see those moves, right? We see price go down, and then there's an accumulation of orders, right? Again, smart money just can't buy all at once, can they? Can institutional orders or money just buy everything at once like we can in retail trading? Yes, no? No, they can't, right? So they got to kind of sneak their way in the market by a little bit, by a little bit more, by a little bit more. Boom. So, yeah, good stuff. Good example. All right. A little bit over. But any questions before we take our first break? Exciting first half of the session, in my opinion. I was happy with what we were able to look at. Some really good analysis, and that's always my goal here, is to provide you guys with good analysis that will help you. We did take a look at pound dollar. Let me just cross off some of my lists. Pound dollar. We did dollar yen. We didn't do euro yen. Took a brief look at it. And we did New Zealand, Canada. Okay, perfect. All right, let's put 13 minutes on the clock. We'll come back. We'll do it again. Break time. All right, Traders, Kill here, back and better than ever. So far today, we've looked at a few pairs, had a few rants, some really good training lessons on the dollar yen, the New Zealand Canada, and the pound dollar. Let's head over to, let's go to Euro Canada next, right? Euro Canada next. Let's go to Euro yen. Let's go to Euro. Yeah, Euro Canada. We'll go to Euro Canada next. All right, Euro Canada on the daily. Let me just write this down. 109 Euro Canada. Euro Canada on the daily. Similar type of situation to what we've seen before. What do you guys identify? What is price doing? Price is bearish, potentially breaking out, right? Maybe putting in a lower low, lower close. Again, we never know because it's on the daily. But we can see that we have a bearish day so far. If price is going to continue lower, we're likely to continue lower down to this structure level around or slightly above $1.49. We're currently trading at 149.50s. So there is a good amount of room to the downside here. These are the trading situations where, I talked about in the day trading course, where I would scan the market and I would look for opportunities with directional movement. These are the type of ones. Again, this, New Zealand, Canada's, stuff like that, where is the market moving directionally, and is there enough room for me to make profit? Even dollar yen is a similar situation as well. So same concept as what we've been looking for before, looking for some type of pullback trade. We're not going to get too much on the 4 hour, but let's go down to the 60. And of course, we'll take a look at it on the lower time frames as well. But let's go down to the 60-minute on Euro Canada and ask ourselves, where would price need to come back to as far as a retracement goes? We have our previous new structure low right here. So we can measure out a kill zone that looks something like that. And of course, when we go down to a lower time frame, we'll probably see a smaller kill zone in here as well. So let's go down to the 15. Right, you can see a little bit of consolidation. We may have already retested it. A little bit of consolidation here. Whoop. Break below, close below. Looks like we already retested it this morning, and now we're working our way down. So we may not have that retracement coming, but we don't need to By the way, for you guys that were looking at the Euro Yen Gartley, you may have just gotten filled here. I think it was Charlie sent this one over. 123.36s. So if you're looking at this, the move may not be over. What you would do is you would wait for a break of this level, because if we break and close below these lows, essentially it resets the cycle. It confirms that bearish movement. And we can start looking for the same thing again. Gabrielle says, pound dollar 4 hour. Check your data for valid. B for Bear Gartley at market. Yep, I believe that was the one, George. Same one you shot over, right, George? Pound dollar? No, you were Aussie dollar. We'll check that out next. We'll go pound dollar next, Gabby. Hey, take care, Tony. Hey, Tony, remember to check if you're still here. I'm gonna put a link below. I think Tony left. Is he here? Still here, Tony? Yeah, I'm gonna put a link below to recording of this video. It's gonna be Adam Grimes reached out to me and he wanted you guys to participate in a survey. He's can't talk much about it, but he's doing a survey on structure, support and resistance, and he would like you guys to participate. So I'm gonna put that link in underneath the recording. James took it already. Says it's a good survey. Yeah. So obviously we can't tell you what it's about because it would ruin. You would go in with a bias. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like a test for your eyes. All right. So let's go to Euro Canada down on. Let's go to the range bar charts. Dollar yen is just refusing to turn back around. Let me just see something real quick on dollar yen 60. This is one of those instances where a buy stop would be brilliant, but it is what it is. Euro Canada on range bar charts. I took it and I failed, James. I was so bad. It kicked me out. It said fail. All right, so range bar chart here. Euro Canada. Again, here's the line in the sand that I'm looking for, right? 149.45s. Once again, we can predict that we can come down to, once I get the screens off my chart, our low level of structure. Again, I don't have VS1s on here, guys. I took them off just to make my charts a little bit cleaner. But if you have a VS1 level, should be identifying these zones. It's 149.20 down to 149 even. Right? And we're asking ourselves, how can I get involved in a move between this level and this level? And that's all you're looking for. That's all you're looking for. Let me zoom out. I don't think I have enough data on here to see what that level of structure looks like. Yeah, not on the range bar chart. But we reset the process. So wait for that break and close below. Wait for that pullback. Or if you're a breakout trader, right? If you're a breakout trader, wait for that break and close below. Buy at market, or buy, put a sell stop, or sell at market, or put a sell stop right below that candle and try to catch that move down. And of course, if things reverse, we can always end up putting in a potential advanced pattern formation as well. So let's say we did something like this. We could end up having an X to A to B, B to C, C to D, something like that. But that will come in time. Any questions on Euro Canada? A strange pair, I know, but a lot of these pairs are offering good trend continuation opportunities. Euro pound was one I want to take a look at too. But we'll do pound dollar first, and then we'll do euro pound. Euro pound tends to move like molasses anyway. So pound dollar. Oh, we did. Hold on. We did do pound dollar. Let's take a look at the cipher. Sorry. Cipher on the 4 hour. We spent the whole last part of the section doing pound dollar Q. All right, Gabby says potential cipher at market. What's the X leg, Gabby? So I can measure it out. Is it, I think I see what you're looking at right here. 123.98. 127.57. 127. It's a bear cipher. 127. Here's what I always do. I just draw a line here. 127. 57. Oh, here in here, is it a small one or a bigger one? $127.57. So this is the X leg right here. Okay, I would say yeah, no way on the 4 hour. No way on the 4 hour. Oh yeah, this was the one we looked at. Yeah. The B leg is invalid. Yeah. Now it's yeah. The B leg's invalid. Yeah. Or not the B leg, excuse me. The C leg. The C leg's invalid. We're gonna close above the 1414. Yeah. Okay, I didn't realize it was the same one. But yeah, no way on the. This is a good example, in my opinion, for me, where it's like you want to be careful with this, right? We looked at this earlier, and you guys can see how quickly I delete stuff from my mind that doesn't fall in line, because we literally just looked at this before the break, and now I couldn't even remember what we were looking at. So once something is not relevant, it just gets thrown into the trash. But this is a good example of if you're a newer trader, you don't want to make this mistake, because what I'll see a lot of is this. I'll see traders look at this and be like, ooh, cipher, look at that, look at that, look at that. And they'll be like, oh man, the C leg's invalid, right? And then what do you think is the next thing they do? Usually you see it the opposite way, but you see it this way as well. C leg's invalid, it closes below the 1414. Dag nabbit. But wait a minute. If I were to go out to a 4 hour chart, and it could be a 120 chart, whatever number they make up. If I go out to a 4 hour chart, well, now we still break and close below. So it's invalid even this way. But let's say on the 4 hour chart, it wasn't a break and close below. Let's say the wick was above it. Now it's a valid pattern. And you just got to be honest with yourself. Is this a valid pattern on the 4 hour chart? And I try not to get in the habit of saying, line in the sand, yes or no, because everyone's eyes are differently, and who am I to judge how people look at it? But I think it's a stretch to call this to look at this as one. I think it's I think this is a perfect example of where you would go down to a lower time frame. I don't think you can look at this and say pattern formation. I think it's one where you see it and it's like, man, that looks like on the lower time frame it could be a pattern formation, and then you would go down to the lower time frame and then you would have one. That would make sense to me. I think it's a little bit of a reach to just look at this. Because if that's the case, are we measuring this as well? I guess that's a bad example, but there's so many small things we can look at here. And it's like, for me, it's like seeing this. Right? Is this going to be a pattern as well? Would that be a pattern? Same type of deal. I think in situations like this, and you can eyeball it and say like, hey, I think that may be a pattern on a lower time frame. I think you got to drop down. But at the end of the day, all that matters is that you consistently see it the same way each time, right? That's all that matters, right, guys? So if you see it that way, keep seeing it that way. Do it. All right, let's go to Dollar yen, New Zealand, Canada, pound dollar, euro Canada. I said euro pound we go to next. Euro pound recently breaking and closing above previous structure. If you guys remember last week's video, heading towards a new level of structure, although we're starting to put in a little bit of we're starting to lose momentum. As expected, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 bullish days in a row. Selfishly, well, I don't trade this pair, but if I did trade this pair, selfishly, I'd like to see more bullish days until we get to that 88.40 level and then just see a massive amount of profit taking and selling pressure in the opposite direction. I don't personally like when we kind of fade off before those levels, but price can still go higher. So if you're a counter trend trader, I would wait for price action to get to that resistance level and look for a selling opportunity. If you're a trend continuation trader, I would wait for a little bit of relief and see if the market can make one more rally up into that 88.40 level here on the euro pound. Let's go down to the 240 chart. $240 chart here. You can see a little bit of you guys see a little bit of the loss of momentum, right? We have some pretty strong moves up, and then we slowly start to kind of see these smaller extensions and retracements, and then kind of this consolidation up here. So we're starting to see a little bit of loss of momentum. Could be in for a little bit of relief. We call these rising wedges and rising channels. Would not shock me if we saw a little bit of a push back down to this level. 86.80s would be the first zone that stands out to me. I guess you can look at for this level as well, but 86.80s on a higher time frame would be the first zone that stands out for me. And you can look for an opportunity to buy it back up as a higher time frame trader. But we want to see that relief first too. You could even play for the break of this as well. If you're a breakout trader, you could play for the breakout of this this wedge pattern. Again, you're gonna have to connect the dots a little bit based on how you draw trend lines on. That's always an interesting feat of drawing trend lines on. I'm not a trend line trader, but you can look for the break of that and trade a breakout style too. Let's go down to the 60. Maybe that gives a clearer view here. 60-minute chart. You can see kind of the first sign, right? We've consistently put in higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, right? Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. And then what happens right here? Right? Violation. Violation. Again, ideally you want to see a strong bearish candle there. But this is also what's going to happen when you have two levels of structure. Level structure right here. You have another level of structure right here. So, you're going to see some selling pressure at this level. But I think we break this level down here, this 87.50s. That's the one that you're going to want to see a break of for that continuation downward. That says divergence as well. Yep. So all signs say we're looking for some relief here. Again, a little bit iffy because we have 25 minute. What did I do here? A little bit iffy because we have all the Brexit stuff happening. But looking for some relief there, and then you can look for maybe later in the week a potential trend continuation setup on the euro pound. All right, next, let's see. You guys want Canada yen, pound yen, or euro yen? Or Canada yen, pound Canada, or euro yen? Pound Canada. Pounding it. Oh, okay. Pound Canada. This morning, we had a trend continuation trade on the radar. Again, because of that Brexit, we've actually traveled down to that $1.70 level. and we start to see a long tail in that candle. So I'd actually be looking more so. I'd love to see a test of those lows, meaning I'd love to see the market really probe the bottom of this zone at 169.71 level, which we still can. We just haven't yet. But I'd be looking for counter trend. I'd be looking for counter trend trading opportunity here. I'm not too familiar with this pair, but the most recent move is consolidation above previous structure highs. We've channeled here for a couple years or so, it looks like, and then we broke above, close above this level, retesting the lows of that level. Probe, isn't that what aliens do? Yeah. They probe. Speaking of which, probably bad segue. You guys hear about Kellen Winslow? Kellen Winslow Jr.? Football player, son of I believe a Hall of Famer. I'm not sure if his dad was a Hall of Famer. But yeah, he's in court right now. I think on like 3 rape charges. And like rape is bad no matter what. Let's put that first and foremost. But it's a little bit weird. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, he's been probing. It's a little weird, right? Ex-NFL player, and you would think. Again, I guess you don't. I mean, you would think lots of ex-NFL players can get any girl they want. Now he's married, so he shouldn't want any girls. But you would think, right? This is the weird part. The rape charges are on. One was, I guess, 2 rape charges. I didn't read the whole thing. One was on a 59-year-old lady. And Kellen Winslow's probably, I don't know how old he is. He's got to be maybe 30s? He's not that old. Not saying 59 is old, but like typically you don't hear about that with older women. The other one was a homeless lady. That's the shocking one. One was a homeless lady. That was weird. Again, not that rape is good in any sense, but ex-NFL star, married, I guess if that means anything, but raping a homeless lady. And when they went to court, like they didn't blame it on, like you would think like the first thing they blame it on is like the what is it, CTE, the whole concussion thing, and he's mentally unstable because he was in the NFL and he got hit in the head too many times. They didn't blame any of that stuff. They didn't pull any of those cards out either. So they didn't make it seem like he was crazy or anything. It's an interesting case. You don't typically hear that. And you don't typically hear about ex-NFL stars raping homeless people. You hear about like maybe they went to a strip club and then they tried to rape a dancer or something like that. But like he picked up a homeless lady outside of one was a hitchhiker, one was a homeless lady outside of a car or outside of a store, and the other one was like exposing himself to his neighbor like while on a bike or something like that. It was weird. But they didn't claim any of that stuff, which is, I don't know. Yeah, well, George is from Texas. That's what you guys do, man. My dad taught me at an early age, never commit a crime, but if you're going to, especially don't commit one in Texas. Do not commit a crime in Texas. So whenever I go to Texas, I am on my best behavior. That's the son. We had that father-son talk. Son, don't commit a crime. But if you do, just make sure it's not in Texas, because you will be killed right away. It won't even go to court. It won't even go to court. It's funny, but it's not funny because it's true. Yeah. So yeah, don't mess with Texas. Florida's got some weird rules too, man. Florida's got some rules. Was it the yeah? Florida's got weird rules on not committing crimes in Florida neither. Chad said, "I lived in Texas." You're right. Yeah, I'm about playing with Texas, man. Reminds me of the lawyer Saul from Breaking Bad. Remember, kid, don't drink and drive. But if you do, call me. Yeah, Florida has its own rules, man. You can just shoot people in Florida, and it's okay. that's that's basically what happens in Florida, guys. You can just shoot someone and it's okay, right? You're standing your ground. That pretty much so. Yeah, and you guys have the cannibals, the whole what was it, the bath salt thing, where you had to walk in. The people were the naked people with super strength were eating people. Well, America, guys. I mean, I'm sure it's worse in other places, but that's when I knew life was weird. When there were naked people with superhuman strength eating people, and it was a real thing. You guys got that overseas? Like we had real life zombies. We had real life World War Z zombies. People were taking these bath salts, and what happens is it overheats your body, so you get really hot. So the first thing you do, I'm just this is what I've heard at least. The first thing you do is you remove all your clothing because you're so hot, and then apparently you get this superhuman strength. So people are like flipping cars and like there was this one guy, it took like five, he wasn't even like that big of a guy. It took like five officers had to like jump on him and he was like throwing him off like the Incredible Hulk. And I don't know why I don't know where the eating people part comes from. Maybe you just get the munchies. But it was like really, like that scared me, man. Let somebody try to eat me. Oh man, let that happen. Yeah, this is my autobiography. Life of a day trader. I mean, we are traders, man. I'm not too far from Wall Street. Just don't do it in Texas. I never finished watching the Saul his own series. I gotta finish that. I'm so behind. Gotta finish up Sneaky Pete. Game of Thrones is over, so it's time to get that HBO Now trial offer at some point. All right. So what once was a potential trend continuation opportunity here on Pound Canada could now be a potential counter trend trading opportunity looking for some type of reversal. Let's go down to the 4 hour chart. Where else can you go from bath salts and eating people to chart talk? I've never watched True Detective. It was on my list. I heard it was great. I've never watched it though. I've never watched what's the other one? Billions. I heard that was good. Billions. I never watched that. I'm behind on Power. I'm just ever since I had kids, man, life got ruined, man. Just I don't have time to watch stuff anymore. I guess that's a positive thing. I'm more focused on work and stuff, but yeah, I haven't had a chance to watch any of that stuff, unfortunately. I'll save it when I get old. I'll be like Stephen. You guys know Stephen Burns, the trader and trader author, Steve Burns. So I remember interviewing him for my podcast, the only interview I've ever done. And he was saying like, he said he missed every show and movie from like 1990 to the year 2000. Because he was so focused on like learning the trade and stuff like that. He just took 10 years out of his life and didn't like watch anything. So like all of his friends would go back and like, hey, do you like what happened on that? And he'd be like, I never saw it. Hey, Millen. All right, Millen's looking at a pound Canada bet. I'll draw out what he's looking at, or she. I'm assuming he, Millen, Millen. I apologize if I'm wrong. He, perfect. Let me know if this is what you're looking at. X to A, A to B, B to C. Oh, drew it on wrong again. Sorry. Unrecognizable pattern. Probably a little bit clearer on the daily. May have to go out there. X to A. X to A. Come on. A to B. B to C. Let's get the highs here. Come on, get the high. There we go. And a CD completion right there. Here you go. Bull bat at market on the 240. Again, let's take a look at the daily. Maybe a clearer picture here on the daily chart. So you can definitely add that as part of your CTS score. Let's head down to the 60-minute on pound Canada. That is it. That is it. 60-minute chart on pound Canada. Again, we're seeing that potential reversal. Again, what you want to look for is this. We already have part of it going on, but broke this level. We've returned to this level. Look for some consolidation. Look for some equal consolidation to the side here, and then for the market to make that rotation. So if you're looking for a reversal, some type of counter trend move at that level, I'd be cautious because we could still probe a little bit lower into that structure zone, but wait for some type of replication of the consolidation to the left. Wait for the break and close above, and look for basically like a head and shoulders type of deal to take advantage of. Questions on pound Canada? $277 pips to target 1, 448 pips to target 2. Nice daily chart pattern. We'll get this one into the chat, actually. I haven't uploaded anything to the chat in a little bit. Akil, do you enter with limit orders or market when it comes to harmonic patterns? Limit orders, yep. So I'll put a limit order at the decompletion, and then as soon as price hits that level, I am filled the trade. Yep. I do know traders, however, that take more conservative approaches, meaning once price action gets into that level or that kill zone, they'll look for a very specific entry reason. So they may need the RSI to go oversold. They may need a higher high, higher close candle, something of that sort. So I do know traders that do that. For me, it's simply once the decompletion or the potential decompletion is kind of determined, a limit order goes there, and then a stops go, of course, underneath, and then it's just waiting for price to hit it. Pound Canada daily. Bull bat at 17067. 17067. Yeah, I like limit orders because the thing about market orders is you never know when it's going to complete. You never know when it's going to complete. So if you have to enter at market, what you would have to do is basically set an alert for when price hits that level, or I would set it, like 10 pips, 15 pips beforehand, and then go back to your chart, and then wait for that level to be hit and stare at it and watch it. And it's just a lot of chart time where you have to physically be there in front of your chart, looking, waiting for the entry. For me, I'm just not a fan of that. I'd rather have the freedom of going about my life and have orders set, have stops set, and just trusting myself in that zone. And that's just my personal take. Andrew says, is it even worth waiting until price goes below decompletion for a pattern and then setting your entry? Or is that a lot of hassle for not much benefit? You mean like waiting for a specific reason for entry, or like actually waiting for price to push past D and then putting like a buy stop? Or referring to kind of what I just talked about? Hello? Oh, what did I just talk about? Yeah. Depends on the trader. Yeah, like I said, depends on the trader. If you don't mind, I mean, if you don't mind waiting there, there's nothing wrong with that. Especially if your specific entry is going to provide you an edge. Um, yeah, I mean, it's up to the trader. So that's a question where it's like, hey, is it worth your time? Is it worth your time, or isn't it worth your time? Now, I suppose what you could do, I'm not a big fan of trading from your phone. I guess if you can set an alert, if you can execute trades from your phone, you can look at it and then just do it from your phone, I suppose. But yeah, I trust my zone. I mean, like I said, the more experience I get in trading, the less importance the entry has to me. I think we get so caught up over the entry, the entry, the entry. The prediction is much more important than the entry. You guys understand that? Entries, it's sexy, right? But the prediction is it's much more important than entry. Let me ask you this, right? What would you rather have? I give you two options. Would you rather have the perfect entry, but your prediction of the market likely to go to this level, aka targets, before it goes to that level, aka stops, be wrong? Or would you rather have a worse entry, but your prediction that price is more likely to go to targets versus more likely to go to stops, or before it goes to stops, have that prediction be right? What would you rather have? A great entry with a bad prediction, or a bad entry with a great prediction? I'd rather have a bad entry with a great prediction, because the prediction is what makes you profit, right? Price hitting your targets before it goes to the level that hits your stops. You may not be in there with the ideal entry, whatever ideal is, but I'd much rather have that versus a great entry, but I'm wrong in my prediction. Now, of course, you can say, well, I can just have both, and that's certainly possible. But if I had to choose one or the other, again, I just want to be involved in the move. I don't really care where the move actually reverses at. Right? So if I'm looking at, let's say, this bat pattern, for example, I honestly don't care if the market reverses at, what's our entry, 170.70s or 169.80s, right? What I care about more is that price goes here before it goes here. Because if price goes there before it goes here, I'm going to make money. So I just want to be involved, right? And sometimes you can say, well, stops get targets get rolled. You can say, well, if price pushes down to here, you're going to make less because targets get have to go rolled. But at the same time, there's going to be opportunities where price comes right down to that entry, stops on a dime, and then rallies up, and you're involved in those trades. So it's always a pros and a con. Always a pros and a con. Yeah, well, and by bad entry, I meant like you're not the ideal entry. You don't get in at the whatever the quote unquote perfect spot. That's what I meant. So I value the prediction much more. Let me be right in my prediction, because ultimately, a perfect entry for a bad prediction is still going to lose me money. All right. Let's go to pound Canada, trend continuation. Let's go to, we're avoiding some of these major pairs because there's really not too much happening on these major pairs. Let's take a quick look at Euro Yen. This was one on the radar. Now, I do want to look at the Dow Jones and the AMT stock. We'll do that next. But let's look at the Euro Yen here. Euro Yen, and I'm looking at 146, not the level, but just trying to keep a timestamp on here. I wonder if I can. There's actually a way that I can. Hold on, real quick. Nope. Okay. All right, let's get Euro Yen here. We had the Gartley identified earlier. I had potential breakout on my list of watching, but I don't think. Yeah, we're far away from that actually. Yeah, we're looking for. I was looking for a breakout out of this wedge pattern. That's what was on my radar this morning. You see, we're getting that. We're getting that breakout. We did break above again. Consolidation leads to expansion, right? As the market coils, right, tighter and tighter and tighter in its spiral, it tends to eventually break out one direction or not. Now, again, not a big fan of wedge patterns because I'm a very structure-based person. So, you can see, you can look at this and be like, well, okay, yeah, we can have a breakout, a retest, and something like that. I always look for the next level of structure. So I see this and I'm like, well, we broke out, but we came right to structure. Oh, we broke out, but we have structure right above here. So for me, there's not really room for expansion. Does that make sense? This is why you see me. I'm not a big wedge pattern trader. Now I love like ascending and descending triangles. Those are a little bit different because those have horizontal levels of structure. So once we break out of those type of patterns, guess what was also broken? Unless there's something, hiding over here. In those patterns, right, the key levels of structure are broken. In wedge patterns, because everything's descending, right, the key level of structure high is going to be here. The key level of structure low is going to be here. Even after we break out, unless it's a massive one, right, there's not as much room to the downside. So I prefer the ones with horizontal levels of structure. How about that correction coming on the pound pairs, by the way, guys? All that big movement this morning. Now we're correcting. Let's just take a brief break from here and look at this. I just want to see if there's anything you could have done with this. I don't think there's anything you could have done. Aside from just be alert about news. Yeah, look at that. That's called the whipsaw, guys. Whipsaw. Whipsaw. Whip. All right, let's go down to the 240 on Euro Yen here. Not the 240, 60, excuse me. 60-minute chart on Euro Yen. And let's go down to the 15. Not going to be too much here. Any questions on Euro Yen, guys? You guys still hanging with me? I know it's been an active day. You're used to these boring days. We've actually had stuff to talk about today. Magic Poop Cannon still up here. My man. That's my alias. That's my alias, Magic Poop Cannon. Because that's who I want to follow. All right, let's take a look at a few stocks. Not too much happening with the commodities out there. That says might start competing with them. Ooh, get some trading view posts going. I'll tell you what, man. If you're here's the secret. If you want to do it, Latch. You want to know the secret to getting up there on Trading View? Nope. Not even that, right? Here's what you don't want to do. Here's what you don't want to do, right? So, at the top of your menu, right, you see this little thing right here that says EN, English, right? Never post under this. Change it to UK, change it to Espanol, Any of these other ones, don't do it on this one. You have no chance. You have no chance, right? You want to see something cool, right? So look, watch this. I'm on English right now, right? Let's go top authors of all time, right? Because I'm there, because I'm awesome. Watch this. It's not even that most users are USA. It's when they first started off, that was the only option. They didn't have the different TradingView, it was smaller. They didn't have the options for other ones. So everyone that was posting was under English. So it's kind of like the default, right? So you look at this all time, right? My all time here? Where am I going? All time, because I haven't posted in here in like a month, right? I should be somewhere on one of these pages, all right? Here I go, right here. All time, does it say how many ideas I've shared? Is this ideas? Yeah, 599 ideas, right? And I am 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18th all time. Now watch this. A little lesson on marketing for you guys. So 152. All time on the did I go to on UK, right? 5 ideas. I'm 4th. Am I here for the week? I haven't posted anything in ages. I can't be here for the week. But all time, yeah. 5 ideas and I'm 4th. So that's what you want to do. You go to one of these smaller ones. Go to one of these smaller ones. Now, from a not as many people, I'm not sure if it will share it on all the channels if it's under that one. I haven't paid that too much attention. But what you do is you go there, and in fact, I would take a 2-prong assault, right? Because it's very easy to move up the leaderboards when you first start, because that's how it works. You get a lot of momentum, blah, blah, blah. So when you first start, if you do the regular one, work up the leaderboards, right? You'll be on the, best of today, best of the week if you get a good following. And it'll last a couple of weeks, and then you'll start to kind of fall back down to the bottom, right? So do that, market the heck out of it while you're up there. Then once you've lost it on the English one, then you go to the UK English one, and you should be able to stay higher on the rankings there, or whatever one you use. You can use French, Spanish, Italian, whatever one you choose to use, Swedish. Use one of those smaller ones and dominate there. Or, in fact, you can probably, if you want to be a real marketer person, you can probably just go to each one. You can probably just take the same post and post it on each one separately. I don't know if it'll let you do that, but or just each, do one post one day and another post another day. But yeah, and then you'll be the top author. Take a picture of it. No one will know, right? No one will know. If I just showed you this, right, and I didn't tell you about changing it, right, would you know the difference? Right? 4th all time. Would you know the difference? Not at all. You're not lying, right? So if you're gonna get on trading, you do that. But it's weird because I haven't been up to date with their algorithm and stuff like that. But what you need to do if you want to get your kind of rankings and your points, and they may have changed this. Obviously, you need to post. You need to get likes. You need to get comments. You need to also be active on other people's posts. So you want to make the habit of. Have you guys heard of Gary V's $1.80 technique? Anybody heard that $1.80 technique? Yeah, $1.80 technique is basically a technique you use for Instagram, where you leave your 2 cents on however many posts a day, right? And your 2 cents is a term for just your comment. So you would do this, say, 5 times a day. So if Latch is on Instagram, he's trying to do this $1.80 technique. What he would do is he would go on Instagram, he would search for our unfortunately, it's so hard in our industry because most of the people that post and tag like Forex and trading, it's just your most ridiculous stuff ever. So it'd be much easier if it was like weightlifting or like health and fitness. But he would search the hashtag, say Forex, right? He'd find the top post, hopefully the ones that just aren't like spammy and whatnot, and he would just leave a comment, right? So he would go to Forex and it would be like a picture of like a chart, and he'd be like, "Hey Matthew, great chart. I was looking at the same thing this morning," right? And when you leave it under the top post, the idea is that, well, he's added value, right? You want to be authentic with it. You just don't want to be like, "Great job," or something like that. You want to be authentic. You added value to the post. The person that wrote the post most likely responds to you or gives you a like, but then other people see you. And if you're adding good content, if you say something like, hey, Andrew, or whatever the name was, "Hey, Andrew, nice post. I was looking at the same thing this morning, although I entered on a higher high, higher close." Something like that. Now people see that like, "Oh, this guy's a trader. Let me just click on his bio real quick." And then maybe they see something that Latch wrote or a recent post that was good, and now he gets a follower. And you make a habit of doing that a few times a day, over and over again consistently, and you grow your following. Make sense? Yeah. It's an easy, authentic way. You're not buying fake followers. You're getting people that are actually interested. Now again, it's hard. I tried it before, just because I like experimenting with different marketing tools. It interests me. A little bit. It's harder in our industry because, again, if you just Google, I wonder if I can actually do this on here. If you just take a look at, if I just search Forex, right? And I was sharing with George the other day too. There's a site where you can find the best hashtags and everything. But let's say Forex trading. These are the top posts. So it's like, do I want to comment under a Lamborghini? No. Do I want to comment under someone's P&L? No. A jet? No. Like this one, I may say something like, "Hey, nice setup. Love the view in the background." But like most of this stuff, right? Like, how many legitimate posts are there? Maybe these technical ones are good. This is a good one, right? But look at your top ones, because these are the ones you really want. Your top ones out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 top posts here, only one is worth looking at, right? This one, in my opinion. I'm gonna comment here. Looking good today. Get in trouble with my wife. Maybe I'll comment on this one. Looks like a funny video. So it's a little bit harder in our industry because, again, most of our posts here, most of these are just, look, a stack of money, a cigar. Like, why is this Forex trading? Most of this is stupid. So, but another good technique for you guys that are out there trying to build your brand. Brand building. Building your brand on the backs of others. All right. Dow Jones. You said you did try it, Latch. Did you stick with it at all, or? Haven't tried it yet. Yeah. Spend one Pomodoro on it. Invest one Pomodoro, one Pomodoro a day on it, or one Pomodoro every session, or a half a Pomodoro. So Dow Jones here, interesting, right? Head and shoulders bottom, but right, we have this level of structure up here, and we're also putting in what can be looked at as a head and shoulders top, right? If we pause right here, hold this structure, and come back down. So it'll be interesting to keep an eye on this. If we can break these lows here, we can probably come back down to probably right around this level. Maybe a little bit high. Yeah, right around this level. Not a bad level of structure. So something to keep an eye on, higher time frame. I don't think we're going to break these lows. But you never know. But you never know. Here's AMT real quick. Here's AMT real quick. We talked about another consolidation level, looking for another retest back into this level of structure. You can see we got our retest up into the upper band here. So again, if you're looking to be a trend continuation type buyer, look for that retest. Start looking for reasons to buy. I think we can push a little bit lower down though into $1.95s, $1.94s as well. So, all right. Let me just see. Canada yen is the last real one I want to take a look at. Let's take a look at that real quick, and then I'll let you guys kind of steer the show if there was a specific pair you want to take a look at. But let's take a look at Canada yen first. Canada yen, sorry about that. Same situation as dollar yen. We came down, we looked for trend continuation, and we just started kind of reversing in trend. And basically, well, now it's over, but we're looking for a breakout here. That's what the plan was, with anticipation of a move up to here. So this is done. Probably should have looked at it first. But we talked about this with a few pairs, even gold, right? You see how we got to the upper half of this. We held. Actually, I guess we technically broke and closed above, which is even better. And then we put in this ascending triangle, right? We put in here, 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 and then we broke out. So should have looked at this earlier. Sorry, guys, a little late to this party, but that's what happens when you don't have your eyes on everything. Here's another example of it. No pullback or anything like that. So probably wouldn't have been any, if you're looking for a higher high, higher close entry, this would have been your entry right here. Stops below these lows. Might not even be able to get a one-to-one risk reward here, however. Let's see. Would have been close. If you're shooting for the highs here, I would have went for 82.50s. Yeah, I guess so, yeah. So anyway, that was the move. It's over. So, all right. Any other pairs you guys want to take a look at? No trades for me today. I had a trade yesterday on pound yen, which went well. Was happy about that. Got the week off to a good start. But any other pairs you guys would like to take a look at? Those are the ones that were on my radar today. I'll do a brief little click around. I know these pound pairs have been moving, but they haven't been moving too great, or they've been retracing. Let's go euro dollar real quick. Yeah, you can see the nothingness that exists. Oh, we never looked at dollar Canada. Someone went to look at dollar Canada. I'm sorry. Are you still here? Whoever wants to look at dollar Canada, you gotta next time. Just remind me. Just like yell in my face. I apologize for that. Just remind me. Just keep. Yeah. I hope he's still here. I feel bad now. We'll do dollar Canada. Dollar Canada on the daily consolidation. Stuck like Chuck, as Todd Brown would say, inside his consolidation. Let's go down to the 240 here. And we're just between structure. So we've got a minor level of structure we're trading at right now. We just traded below. You can look for a structured trade down here. The problem is I would only look for a retracement back up to this blue line, 134s. So there's just not a lot here on Canada. Even if we break these lows, there's still a level of structure right below it here. I guess there's as a short-term trader, there would be some room between 133.70s and 133.50s. But there's not a lot of room for Canada. the upside potential is to the upside. Lat says deep Gartley. I suppose, yeah. You can look at this as a deep Gartley. Yeah, if you want to view that as a deep Gartley, you certainly can, yeah. Hey, take care, Cody. Post it. All right, anything else, guys? Busy day, dollar, yen, New Zealand, Canada, pound, dollar, euro, Canada, euro, pound. Remember, I am going to push I'm going to put a link for that interview, or the survey underneath the recording. So make sure you check it out. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. If anything pops up during my analysis, I'll shoot it over to the Pro Trade Log as usual. I'll try to hang out on the platform a little bit later. I gotta go grocery shopping today, so we'll see. If you guys ever want to get in contact with me, if I'm not on the page, feel free to hit me up on email as well. So take care. Have a good one.